Hello and welcome to this charcoal portrait course with me, Peter Keegan. Over these next few lessons I'm going to be taking you through the range and different techniques of creating a charcoal portrait just like this one on the easel. We're going to be working with a range of very simple materials actually on how you can create tonal values, and we're going to be specifically looking at how light and dark comes across the face to create a really realistic and very convincing portrait, hopefully capturing some of the key elements which really make the character truly them. We've got two wonderful models that we're going to be looking at and using today. We've got one of a young man around about 10 years old, and he's going to be really staring straight at the individual. So you're going to have great eye connection there, and I'll be showing you with that portrait how to get the details of the eyes and the way that light and tone curls across his face. The second model we've got of a young lady, and her head is looking slightly to the left, so her gaze is looking elsewhere, and we're going to create a much more sympathetic looking portrait, something a little bit more rendered, much softer, and I'll show you a little bit more detail on how we get the hair and how we get the poise and the facial features that are looking off in the different direction. The materials that we're going to be using are very, very simple, but before we look into that, I want to tell you something very quickly about how you take a photograph. A good reference image is crucial to getting a successful portrait. Now, the worst thing you could possibly do is to take a photograph of the person with the flash of your camera on, or taking that photograph outside. Now, what that does, it eliminates all that beautiful tonal values across the face. So you want to avoid that. Switch off the flash of your camera and instead bring your model inside and put them next to a window or a light source. A skylight from above also works very well, and you want them about 1 meter, 3 foot or so away from that window, and then take that image. There you'll have light coming in on one side of the face and then shadow on the other, and it's that illusion that you'll have that lovely form across the face which will make not just your portrait look more convincing and real, but it's actually easier to draw. So make sure your reference image is very, very good. Make sure the head fills that image. Make sure you haven't got any irrelevant background, and try and think about the pose of the body. You want to avoid them sort of facing dead opposite you. That tends to look a little bit boring, so maybe turn their body just a little bit to the side, and that gives you a nice 3/4 pose. So if you think you're ready and you've got a decent enough image, let's show you the materials we're going to be using for this course.